Welcome to the 5G Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversations about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
Here we go. Just take two.
Take two.
Yeah.
After Stephen was late by 20 minutes because he forgot the camera.
Trevor was late by 3 days, so that's.
But we knew about this.
Yeah. We did plan.
This was a planned lateness.
Planned event.
Yeah, we normally film this on Saturday morning prior to the previous episode releasing. Filming this on Tuesday after
Tuesday
Saturday
evening
because it was Veterans Day.
And
there it is.
Yeah, and we took the day off.
I guess. It was a nice 3-day weekend, let me tell you. If I could work a 4-day week,
week.
Oh,
Dude, I'm already excited for next week. It's Thanksgiving. You get 3 days.
3-day
of work,
week. It's a useless week of work.
It's pointless.
It's pointless.
Totally.
And then Christmas is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
It's the best time of year to be working.
yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. All right. So I wanted to bring up an interesting conversation topic. As we've alluded to in the past or blatantly said, I like to follow business topics.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't want to say like realm of expertise because I'm definitely not like a business expert, but like I consider myself somewhat of in the realm, right?
Yeah.
More than I'm better at business than I am at magic. Let's just say that. And so because of my
Your background.
not just like the things that I like to read about.
Yeah.
I get a lot of like of my a lot of articles about my hobbies, and then a lot of articles related to the business of those hobbies, right?
Yeah.
So I was getting a lot of articles about the Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft and things like that. And I just got an article the other day suggested to me that I decided to read because it was interesting about the Epic Games Store.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And how 5 years ago in 2018, when they launched, they were trying to become the number one place to purchase your PC games effectively.
Yikes.
And that was kind of
Steam,
they were
obviously.
competing with Steam, and they were attempting to take a good chunk of the market share, if not corner of the market, like Steam has done.
Yeah.
And they were, going to do this through a variety of means and
Free games.
Stuff. Yep, they were going to do it through that, and there was a variety of tactics that they were using. They thought they could optimize the
user experience,
and things like that. They thought they could make it. They thought they could give it a facelift because if you look at Steam, it's not a very like pretty to look at application.
Yeah,
but it's definitely a functional. It's like extremely functional and
I'd agree.
Relatively after the first like couple times, pretty intuitive on how to use and find stuff. It's okay.
Also, like most people going there are gamers anyway. Most people.
Well, yes, exactly.
So it's
right?
like, yeah, they can work their way around a menu.
Exactly. Steam knew their audience.
Totally.
Right. And could it use a facelift? Maybe, but who cares?
Yeah,
right?
Who cares?
You're not going there to look how pretty it is. You're going there to launch your latest gaming addiction, right?
Epic Games also, I know they've tried with exclusives to get people to the Epic Games Store.
Yeah, and I didn't see. So they mentioned that in the article, and I didn't read anything other than the article just because it was what caught my interest one morning while I was using the facilities.
Oh yes,
and
reading the what
I was reading the newspaper.
What articles have the algorithms recommended to me today? Yes.
Oh, great porcelain gods. But I kind of, so the takeaway of the article was basically like, yeah, they tried their hardest, but 5 years later, they're still losing a stupid amount of money.
Still losing money on it. Wow.
Yeah, that's what the article claims.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that just means that they are. So I have two takes on this. The main takeaway is that the company, Epic Games, the company, they make so much money through their games that do they care? Like, why do they care about, like, they've had this test period for 5 years trying to launch these games, or trying to launch this
the platform, the
browser, or this launching platform, or whatever you want to call it, right? And they can do that for their own games, and people play their own games. And so like my thought is like, you know what, we've tried for 5 years, it's not taken, Steam is still the number one, and anyone who has Epic also has Steam. It's not like they are
basically,
but people who don't have Epic, or people who have Steam, don't necessarily have Epic, right, to launch their games. So my thoughts are twofold. One, why do they care? They're making money from their games. Just let it be, just like Blizzard does. There's the Blizzard launcher. There's 5 games.
There's probably going to be more, but they added Call of Duty on that one, which was pretty big a few years ago.
Well,
so
but you can still get Call of Duty on Steam.
Yes, exactly. It's not exclusive by any means.
But like WoW and Starfield are exclusively on the Blizzard launcher.
Starfield's not on there yet, but I'm saying.
Oh, which one? Not Starfield.
StarCraft.
Overwatch. StarCraft is what I was thinking.
Diablo.
Sorry. StarCraft is the one I was thinking. Yeah. Sorry. Starfield is the new one.
Yeah.
My bad.
That potentially, now that Microsoft owns them, could all just be on the Blizzard launcher.
But nonetheless, right?
Yes.
Like
they're not competing, even though they are another big name launcher.
And they're just a way to play the game, right?
Yeah. So you think if Epic Game Store was just
said,
this is how you play Fortnite through our launcher, and also, hey, there's a store here too if you want.
Yeah, and like if gaming companies want to put their game on Epic Game Stores just to have it as like
an option,
like I think they could do that, because I don't think it takes anything from Epic to do that. I think the game company just says like, hey, we want to host our game on your server.
Cool.
Okay. Like the gaming company is going to pay them to host.
The business comes in. Hey, we'll give you an exclusive to our game. If PC gamers want to play this game, they have to come to Epic Games. Then there's a business deal.
But obviously they haven't been successful at that. And so I think Epic Games should just say, look, we haven't been successful. We're not going to do our deals anymore. We're not going to do any of these discounts unless the gaming company itself, the game production company, wants to run a special on Epic Games. And then we will oblige them, whatever, have our rep just put a discount code or whatever.
Just cut their losses and just say,
we are now available for use, but we're not pushing ourselves as a platform.
Yeah.
The second reason I think that they've failed is because they don't have a game like CSGO to boost they don't have a marketplace.
Really? You don't think Fortnite competes?
So this is the problem, though. Fortnite, in terms of game sales from the game...
Yeah, like microtransactions.
Microtransactions where a player buys in CS2 a key to open the cases, and in Fortnite, the skins and all the other bullcrap. Right?
Cosmetics, whatever.
And, I mean, in CS2, you can also buy skins and things like that direct from Valve. The problem, though, is that they don't have the peer-to-peer microtransactions.
Oh, okay. A marketplace.
A marketplace, right?
Gotcha.
They have the microtransactions in-game, just like every other game does at this point, right? But they don't have the peer-to-peer where they can take a 10% cut or whatever it is, 1% cut or how...
trading commodities.
From their trading, from the trading.
Okay. Yeah,
and so I think that marketplace aspect makes... I really think that the marketplace of, and I would be fascinated to know these numbers if someone out there can send them to us, email at the end of the video, right? If they could, if we could see the dollars that Valve makes from the microtransactions,
just from those
peer-to-peer sales on just the skins that you and I are trading with each other, whatever their haircut is on the top of that. I bet you it's tens of millions of dollars a year. And I bet you it pays for Steam as a marketplace itself just to exist.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued to see that for sure. Because I have to imagine they make a lot of money off of Fortnite microtransactions.
They make a stupid amount of money.
But could they be making more? Yeah.
The problem, though, and other games like Valorant has this problem as well, where they have skins in the game and microtransactions where you as a player purchase a skin, but that skin isn't tradable.
Yeah.
And the skin that I buy, if you buy the exact same skin, it's the exact same.
Yeah.
There's no specialness
There's nothing unique about it.
Whereas
It just means, we both had $30 to spend and we bought the cool skin.
Whereas in CS2, because you can't buy the skins directly from the game, you have to open the cases.
It's true, yeah.
And because the skins have different patterns and different quality wear ratings and things like that, it creates such a variety that it prompts a market to sprout up, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, what's crazy to me, and I don't know how these companies work necessarily, I've tried to figure it out, but it's difficult. There are third-party skin companies that trade in the official CS skins on their own private server, but then they can transfer it to your account somehow. And I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah, that almost sounds...
But you can also open cases from them, but they aren't the regular cases.
Because that begs the
They've
question,
repackaged skins.
Why don't more companies do that? And I have to wonder if it's some sort of legal thing, or there's just more going on the back end to manage that whole thing that we don't see.
Well,
because it's like Valve has the advantage of they literally run Steam, which is the marketplace that all these trades happen. So they're already invested in providing the infrastructure for Steam that, they run the market for every game as well. Every game that has a marketplace functionality. So yeah, that other companies don't do that because they just don't have the infrastructure, virtual infrastructure.
But what's something that's been proven recently by the NFT market that bubbled up and then crashed?
Yeah. Is that you don't need an infrastructure?
Well, and then it's really easy to make an infrastructure.
Yeah. That's fair.
Especially nowadays, right?
That's a good point.
When Valve created Steam and their framework and scaffolding or whatever, maybe it wasn't super easy because it was kind of a novel idea. But nowadays, anyone with a freaking computer can create NFTs.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the fact that a gaming company that turns over hundreds of millions of dollars a year couldn't figure it out.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just like PR at this point. If a new game, or maybe not a new company, but if Blizzard came out and was like, oh, look, here's NFTs for our new game, that just wouldn't go over well with the public.
But this is the thing. You don't call them NFTs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because CS2 skins are technically NFTs.
Yeah.
Because they are non-fungible tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Or non-fungible skins. We'll call them NFSs.
NFSs.
And so, you don't have to call them NFTs.
Yeah. That is interesting.
It's a fascinating...
My one point as a consumer for the past 5 years, Epic Games, it's great. I log on every Thursday, I get a free game. Actually, I haven't done it for the past little bit, but I don't think I ever spent a cent on Epic Games. So
I haven't ever.
There's a couple exclusive games where I was like, that's annoying that's an exclusive game, but oh well.
Yeah, and you didn't feel the urge to go buy it or whatever because...
No, not terribly. There's one... Well, so there's two lately. One that we've talked about, the Return to Moria.
Oh, yeah.
Is an Epic exclusive.
That's right.
And then another big name one that came out was actually published by Epic Games. So it made sense that they wanted the exclusive. Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2?
Alan Wake 2.
It's cool.
Nominated for Game of the Year, Steven.
I have not heard of this game.
It's actually a pretty solid game. I haven't played number 2, but number 1 was stellar. And it's a relatively small, indie European game company.
Interesting.
I've enjoyed their games. I've enjoyed their storytelling, but they are lesser known. But yeah, they didn't even sell physical copies at all. Nobody sells physical copies for PC games anymore. But I don't even know if they're on console yet. It was you had to go to Epic Games to get that. So
interesting.
Yeah. Hello, Dago. But yeah, it's one of the Game of the Year nominees for the big popularity contest that happens every December for video games, the video gaming world.
What are your nominations, or what have they like?
Yeah. So they announced all the nominees for all the categories. The biggest one is obviously Game of the Year. I'll throw it at you. I took pictures today just to make sure I had them all. But what do you think of the Game of the Year? There's nominees. There's 6, I want to say.
6 nominees. Oh, geez.
Alan Wake 2, which you had never heard of.
So there's one. I'm gonna guess that one of the Call of Duties is on there.
No, actually. Yeah.
Strike one.
You couldn't guess Alan Wake 2. I couldn't tell you which Call of Duty came out this year.
They just came out with a new one, and apparently it sucks.
Oh, okay.
That's all I've heard, though.
I know Warzone is good. I'm sure people are still playing that, but
Yeah, a bunch of people still play that, apparently. CS on there?
no, because I don't. It's an update, but it is a new game. I don't know.
Best update of the year.
Again, it's somewhat a popularity contest anyway.
Yeah, but CS2 or CS:GO is literally the most popular game on the planet.
Yeah. So I don't know how the nominees get picked.
Okay, Starfield?
No.
What the freak? Like,
Yeah, caused some controversy with that one. We'll talk about
My
that.
Little Pony Death to Sprinkles?
Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Okay.
I hadn't heard of that one either, actually, I'll admit.
All right.
Going in the so that was Alan Wake 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, going in the Wayback Machine, start of the year, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, that's a fair one, though.
Mhm.
That's fair. That's
That
very
came
fair.
out in like February, so that was this year.
That's fair.
Spider-Man 2 came out, which I hadn't played, but I did enjoy Spider-Man 1 from Insomniac. It's a PlayStation exclusive. Pretty solid game, I think. Resident Evil 4, which is a remake. It's just an HD remake of Resident Evil 4, which came out like 10 years ago. Maybe it was good. I don't know.
Oh, is Diablo on there?
No, also not on there. And then Baldur's Gate 3 is the last one.
Okay, so there's 2 valid ones there.
Yeah, right.
So Tears of the Kingdom is going to win.
Yeah, Nintendo fanboys usually flood the.
You don't even have to
votes.
be a Nintendo fanboy to vote for that.
Yeah, I
Okay, if you're going to
Yes.
vote for one of those games, you personally, it's going to be between 2 of them,
yes,
right?
100%.
And for me, I would vote for Tears of the Kingdom as well, because
That's
the one that I know that my wife has enjoyed the most,
Mhm.
and it's probably accessible to the vast majority of people compared to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I'd agree. If there was a separate category, and I don't know if there is, for just best RPG, Baldur's Gate 3 wins it hands down.
Oh, for sure.
It's like Tears of the Kingdom is a fantastic game. Had a lot of fun with it. Probably deserves Game of the Year. Absolutely. There's some argument to be made if you didn't notice all of the titles of all these games. They're all sequels. They're all in a series, and so there's some not controversy really, but of like, come on, these are all safe picks. It's so easy to make a sequel. When the first one gets Game of the Year, you just make a second one. Second one also gets Game of the Year. Boop-a-doo.
Who decides the nominations?
The nominations is a company. The Game Awards is the company. The votes are popularity.
Sure.
Yeah.
These-
So there's.
These companies need... I mean, I understand like wanting to make sure everyone gets a chance, but do you think they played all these games?
I don't know. I didn't do enough research digging into like how to pick nominees and who are they and all that. But
And what...
respectfully, in the past, that there have been some pretty like well-deserved Game of the Years and nominees and all that. I mean, from previous years, like God of War got it a few years ago. Elden Ring got it last year.
See, but that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But there's only 2 games on there that
That aren't even worth mentioning.
I mean, I understand Spider-Man maybe being a great game.
Mhm.
Like, that's fair, because I know the art, like Batman Arkham games were fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And if it's similar to those, then I wouldn't have a problem with that one winning necessarily. But I've heard nothing about it. Wait, so Hogwarts Legacy isn't even on there?
No, yeah. I also heard some controversy about that too. Yep. Some.
Because I heard that game was great.
From what I had heard as well, yeah. My last point about the series thing or sequels, everyone's like, these are all safe picks, sequels, boop-a-doo. The one point I'll give to Baldur's Gate 3 is it's not really a true sequel. It's a game that was 20 years ago made by a different company. So just to counter that point for anybody thinking that, Baldur's Gate 3 might as well be a standalone game.
That's fair.
But then
Tears of the Kingdom is technically not a sequel either.
no, it's a sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Does the storyline continue from Breath? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it takes place like 3 or 4 years after.
Okay.
And all the gameplay is mostly the same, but it does add new stuff. So again, it would deserve Game of the Year, absolutely.
Like, I will say, I don't think CS2 deserves Game of the Year.
Yeah, again, I'll check one of the other categories. Maybe they do count for something, best shooter game or something.
Yeah.
Surely competing with Call of Duty. But the interesting thing, right? There's no Starfield. Everybody's talking about Starfield.
Yeah.
In my opinion, which if anybody's listened to this, I think I've trashed Starfield a little bit, but Starfield is good at a lot of different things, but it's not the best at any one thing.
Sure.
So give it a year or two, and like if there's a category for best game that's
Mediocre on everything.
mediocre at everything, but then the community makes it better with mods. So as soon
Counter-Strike Source.
yeah, right, as soon as they let
Go away.
creator, as soon as they let people make mods for Starfield, I'm sure it'll be a fantastic game. So
Yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm really surprised by those nominations.
yeah,
I mean, maybe I live under a rock. That's a very big possibility as well.
again, as you mentioned, you're like, who are these people? It's just the world of video games and video game journalism, and it's like, who even cares anyway? But
Yeah, well, that's fair.
it does look nice when a game company gets it, because then they can put that sticker, hang it
For
up on their
sure.
wall. It's a nice accolade.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, like, there are games that like definitely should be praised, you know, like or game companies that make a great game
yeah,
should definitely get some sort of recognition from, like, not just like, oh yeah, look, our sales are through the roof, but like get some industry recognition of like, hey, all of these other gaming companies that are a part of this coalition of whatever all agree that like, yeah, you guys knocked it out of the park.
yeah. Should have like one big trophy they can pass around every year.
Like a World Series trophy kind of thing.
Yeah. Like you guys get to hang this in your office for a year until the next award. Like you got Game of the Year 2023.
Or like, and this would be like
Put
so
your
hard
name
to
on it.
regulate. It would have to be like a self-policing thing, honor system. But you could do like on any game you sell, you could have like, oh, what would be cool is if in every game you sold for that year, everyone who bought the game gets like a special token or something like that,
Yeah.
like an NFT,
An NFT.
right, or something like that.
The cool thing I remember back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, the best example I can think of is Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. I don't remember. But they used to re-release Game of the Year editions of their games that would come with all the DLCs.
Oh,
So
very
it's like,
cool.
your game releases in February or whatever, you win Game of the Year that year. The next year, a year and a half later, you re-release your game with all the DLC, all the content you put in it. It's the Game of the Year edition. And then again, it's got the sticker on it. And
Yeah.
it's at least something cool.
Yeah, see, something like that would be fine.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway,
Next.
good transition.
Great transition. Random, since we're on video games, we don't have to talk long about this one, but Remnant 2. Again, I don't know if they were on a Game of the Year game category somewhere. I should probably look at all the nominees. Remnant 2, great game. Maybe, actually, I think I saw they were nominated, like Best Action Game or something.
That'd be fair.
But they have their first DLC released today.
And
It's been pretty good so far, all the reviews. I haven't played it yet, but from what I've seen, it looks sick. Story seems fantastic. You get a new subclass, which like in all the trailers just had like this awesome wizard hat on, and I love the aesthetic of that. You're like a dimension hopping space wizard
fair enough.
with guns. Pretty cool. That's why I like Warhammer. I mean, if you think about it, my army is just like
You're wizards.
Egyptian space wizards.
Yeah, no, that's
so,
very true.
with guns.
Yeah.
So the new class, it's actually based around status effects, all the poison and fire you
Oh,
can do
cool.
in the game.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. New bosses. There's a new content that's less procedurally generated for people doing just the DLC.
Cool.
Experience just the new stuff instead of mixed in. It might change that later. But big win for the company is that if you, let's say I buy the DLC and I want to invite you into my game, my multiplayer game, we can go play the DLC together.
Very cool.
Even though you didn't buy it. We can go play it. We can go beat all the bosses, experience the story of the DLC. The only thing is like any of the new DLC specific guns, you can get and put them in your inventory, but you can't use them unless you buy the DLC. So you can experience basically the entire DLC,
Except the guns.
except for like a couple of the new guns and I think the new class.
Okay,
But
no, that's definitely
Yeah.
I understand. No, I agree with that business decision.
yeah, second big win. It's only $10.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
No.
$10 to like try out some new guns, a new class, and at least one of your friends needs to have it so you can go fight the new bosses. And I think there's at least 3 or 4 bosses.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, it's pretty solid. Big win for them.
Yeah, seems extremely reasonable to me.
We might have to do some research.
We might have to do some research.
And return and report on that.
We will return and report.
That's all I wanted to throw in there about Remnant 2.
Fair enough.
Gotta give my plug. I enjoy that game a lot.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think I need to play more Remnant too. I just haven't been able to hop on a game in a while to like actually play a game.
Yeah.
I just always hop on like CS2.
Just because it's easy for like 30 minutes to.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I don't have to get immersed into the game in order to like play it, you know.
Yeah.
Or like focus on it. I just sit and if I want to just grief in casuals, then I just buy a Negev and a Molotov every round and just
Nice.
charge at the enemy.
Totally.
Anyway, and then you hop on with me, and then I decide I need to like actually try hard.
We gotta get good, Steven.
Yeah, we got to get our rank in wingman.
That's right. We're professional. We'll get our logos.
We got to make sure that we're not banned still for leaving the match.
No, I'm pretty sure that guy should be banned.
For real. No, that was crazy. I don't know if we want to hash that out.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike 2. It's an alright game.
I enjoy it. It does have its quirks.
It's alright. I've been meaning to ask you actually randomly since I got you here. Do they have a game mode where you can play just against bots still? Is that
Yeah, I think you can do-
CS2? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Where you can just boot up like me and a buddy or a couple buddies. We want to fight 8 bots.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You can do a custom match still.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, that'd be a very fun LAN party
Right.
to do in
Yeah.
CS2.
That's what I'm saying. I grew up on Counter-Strike Source LAN parties. So.
Yeah. Well, I know you could do it in CS:GO because Caleb and I would do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Where it would literally just be us 2 versus 10 bots,
Yeah.
and it was just like a blast.
Yeah. On technically we've done Counter-Strike 1.6 because it's easy to pass around on a flash drive, but we've done like 30 bots versus us 6 at the LAN party or whatever. That's insane.
I don't know if you can go over 10 though in CS2. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe not.
Oh, I've never tried it, but
Custom game mode.
yeah, we'll have to figure it out.
That was something that was a ton of fun, like back in Halo. Halo 3 with the Forge, like you let the community make custom maps and custom game modes. Oh, people go hog wild with that.
Well, CS2 has custom servers that you can hop in on.
Okay.
I think most of them you have to have an invite
Yeah.
or like be part of a community to hop in, but I think there's some free to like open ones where people just create maps and
It's probably not the right game for it, but yeah, it's some sort of community modding tools would be amazing, I think, for that sort of game.
I think it exists.
Yeah, okay.
I think it exists. I don't know exactly how it works because I've never delved into that, but
Yeah.
but I know that whenever I go to like select like play in a match, there on the very far right side there's custom games
Okay.
and then if you look under it, it's like servers or like custom match or whatever. So
Okay. Maybe there's
maybe
at
we'll
least
have
a
to figure it out.
small dedicated community of that because like Halo, all the Halo multiplayer had like racing maps for
Like
for a lot.
Warhogs.
Yeah. Everybody like you spawned in, you'd hop on the Warthogs, and then you'd have to ride the map, and it's like you get to the end and you win. And it was fun. You know, it was still like in the grounds of Halo and the rules of Halo, so you still had grenades and weapons and everything, so you can
fun.
ram people off the track and. Like no rules, but everybody, there's kind of this like gentleman's agreement of like, we are here, we joined the racing map to race. We're not just killing each other
No grief,
mindlessly.
spawn killing or anything like that.
Yeah. That's fun
fair.
times. They had a couple different like, lots of people did things, zombie themed maps. Even going way back, probably my first experience with it was Warcraft 3. Again, they released the tools for like modders in the community to make custom maps on Warcraft 3, right? Which was a top-down real-time strategy style. People designed tons of things with that. Tower defenses came from that. The first MOBAs came from that.
Yeah.
Which was Dota, Defense of the Ancients, dumbest name ever, but it came from Warcraft 3 days. People had role-playing games on there. I mentioned the tower defenses. They had mini games like Mario Party style things. Like you just let the community go crazy with it, and you can have a blast.
I think that's one way to increase the longevity of your game for sure. Is letting the community. Like there are games where it's like you want it to be the pure game, right?
Yeah, sure.
But then there are other games where it's like, yeah, the pure game, the game itself is fantastic. But then after like a year or two of it being on the market and it's become stale or,
Yeah, especially if it's not designed to be a live service game.
You just say like, oh, hey, by the way, new feature. And like you just unblock that part of the screen. And now they have access to
everything,
the code and everything where they can mod everything.
Yeah.
Put it up on Steam and people go ham on it.
I used to do, I don't even remember how old I was back in Neverwinter Nights, which was one of the first Dungeons and Dragons themed video games. So like Baldur's Gate, where it's all dice rolling behind the scenes, but it looks like it's an action game. That one had community modding. And again, I was so young, I would load up the tools and I would just make myself like the most OP character ever, level 20 fighter with glowing swords and the best armor in the game. And I was like, yeah, and I want to fight 3 dragons at one time. So I would just spawn them in like Minecraft or whatever. And I would just have a ton of fun with that. So Minecraft is probably the best, modern example of that.
Probably.
The whole game is literally just, here's the tools that we made the game with.
Yeah.
And then people
have gone wild.
People in the community have made more things than the actual developers of the games.
Yeah. It's probably the most, I'm sure it is the most modded game in existence.
Yeah, by definition. I mean, anything you do in creative, I think, is a mod, basically.
Well, but I even mean like mods where like it changes the actual function of the game.
Sure.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
You add in an ore throughout the entirety of the map. Right. Like that's a huge difference.
Yeah. Adding new items. You're creating new code.
And there's like those mod packs, like the Feed the Beast mod packs, where it's like, yeah, we've compiled 300 different mods
from random creators
and made them work together somehow. And now the game is completely different.
Yep.
Completely different.
Doesn't even look like Minecraft.
No.
But it is.
Well, and then you have like the texture packs. And
all the visuals and stuff.
It's not skin packs, right? What are the texture packs?
Texture packs.
Where you can get like these hyper realistic ones, or you can get really, really not hyper realistic ones.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
And again, there's different servers with custom rules and game modes. And
and there's massive communities that have these servers that are just like, there's one, it's the biggest anarchy because there's like different types of servers.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. You can go down the rabbit hole on this.
Anarchy servers are like the crazy ones where it's like anything, like there's no rules effectively.
It's just the purge all the time.
Except I think you can't cheat.
Okay, yeah, they still have moderators.
Yeah, and I think you aren't allowed to have like hacks on or anything like that. You actually have to be playing the game. But in terms of like, oh, this is this person's base, like that doesn't exist.
No.
It's just... And so, what is the name of the server? It's like one of the most famous Minecraft servers.
Okay.
And it's just crazy. Like, it's insane. It's absolutely ludicrous. Like, the area you spawn in is just pure bedrock because it's just been blown to crap.
Everybody just, TNT.
Because, people would be like, here's TNT. Person spawning. Click. Boom. Blow them to sky high and then just for fun, right? Yep. And so now there's just bedrock everywhere. It's crazy.
Anarchy server. That's wild.
I feel like it starts with an H or something like that. I don't remember.
Well, and then, that's interesting. I bet because it's different from some of the other survival type games. Like Ark, for instance, feels like it takes too long for the experience, the community.
Yeah.
Because when you log out of a server, your body is still there. The game still keeps going.
Oh, interesting.
So the problem I always had with playing online multiplayer in that one is like you get in these clans and you go to war with other people and you're fighting with their pet dinosaurs or whatever. And it's like there's mechanics in the game to like get captured and stuns and poison and that sort of thing. And then it's like nobody wants to like role play being a prisoner. It's like you'd rather just log out and go play another game. That's like somewhat frowned upon because it's like, oh, your clans are at war. Is the community?
Yeah, it seems dumb.
Yeah, it's like I don't have time for that. I want to go just like my dinosaur army fight your dinosaur army. Rawr. All right, we're done.
Yeah,
But if I leave, if I have to go to work or school or whatever, you might just come attack me when I'm gone. So because the whole
it's like
world
the
is,
Rust servers.
yeah, same thing. The whole world is constantly moving. It's real time. So
Yeah. I've always thought Rust just looked like such a horrible game to try and play.
Yeah, when like those sorts of games rely on a community, and you're like, I don't think I want that community.
No, and also like because it is real time all the time, like people can just come like it's like, oh yeah, I've been a very peaceful person and I've just like done all my mining off by myself,
Yeah.
and then some douche canoe can just
trying
come
to
and
play the game.
just take all your crap, and you're like, well,
Yeah, and you wake up just like naked and half dead. You're like, oh.
yeah, or dead
or actually dead. And you're like, I think I'm just gonna hit exit game.
and uninstall.
I think I'm just gonna play something else.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I like CS2 is because I hop in, I have all my stuff,
You die immediately,
I die
And then-
immediately.
and then you have to wait 90 seconds for the round to be over. No, it's really not that bad sometimes. But that's why I was thinking about like, oh, maybe custom.
But
games.
let me tell you, when you get like a solid triple kill,
Yeah, it feels good.
it's probably like one of the best gaming feels. Like you're like
yeah, there's
like killing a zombie in Minecraft. I have not. I'm
No.
just like
the dopamine is gone.
there's no but you get a triple kill, or you do like you like ace a round,
Oh yeah.
or you get like the last kill and it's like a sick flick onto someone's head, and you're just like yeah, or
Last
like
bullet in
it's
your magazine.
1v1 and they've planted the bomb and you're like trying to like figure out where they are, and you get a headshot on them, or you just like spray them down and then defuse the bomb at the last second. Your heart's like going like you're like, oh gosh, is it gonna make it, ah! And then it does, you're like yes, and you just, and your team's like freaking nice job, like they're typing at you like let's go, everyone's like hyped.
Yeah.
Such a good feeling.
For the their formula, the 2-minute rounds for those quick dopamine hits. Counter-Strike 2 got it. They got it good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I remember the first time playing CSGO, and I was like, this game sucks. Because I sucked at it, right?
Mhm.
It's like the first time I'd ever hopped on. And I was like, this game sucks. Then I played a little bit more, and I was like, yeah, you just die a lot. And then you're like sitting there, and you would just be on like, I was on Instagram more than I was on the game, right? And then I remember like getting like my first like round where I got more than one random kill, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I figured out you could change your crosshair, and so I changed my crosshair a little bit, and I liked it better. And I've changed my crosshair so much, like it's ridiculous.
Wow.
And like you can copy other people's crosshairs, like, oh, this guy's really good. And then like I would spectate people, and like the best people on the team, I would like watch them while they're playing. I was like try to get better because I would watch their movement and stuff like that. And that's probably my favorite game. That or Smite.
Right.
I played a lot of Smite.
You did.
I played a lot of
In your
Smite.
Steam library.
I've played a lot of Smite.
Maybe a semi-related topic, but it doesn't have to be video games. What do you feel nostalgic for? I want to get at the core of that feeling. It doesn't have to be video games.
No, for sure. I can't feel nostalgia about video games because
you didn't
I
have
didn't
'em.
grow up with video games.
But there's something about nostalgia that everybody feels. And you're just like, yeah, I want that. And then you get it. So
So meh.
yeah, sometimes, so I guess that's kind of the heart of my discussion I want to get to.
I always, every time, so I have a cheapo answer while I think of a
Mhm.
meaningful answer.
You get the cliche, like the
Well, so
Hollywood answer.
every time I go to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I look at the Crunch Wrap and I go,
Uh-huh.
ugh, I love Crunch Wraps.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, that was like the thing that I got. And like I would be working, it would be Saturday, and my dad and I would be out doing hard manual labor, digging trenches or whatever, digging a hole for a tree, whatever it was, because we were psychopaths.
Digging a hole for no reason.
Sometimes.
Just cause.
Sometimes.
Move this pile of dirt over there.
Splitting wood.
Oh, yeah.
For all of those super cold Arizona winters.
Gotta get the fireplace going tonight.
And he would say, like, hey, let's go to Home Depot for lunch.
Yeah.
And if they're up on the Home Depot up, yeah, that way.
That way?
On a McDowell or a Power.
Yep.
There's a Taco Bell right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go to Home Depot and then stop and get a Crunch Wrap.
Nice.
Or we'd go get Taco Bell, and I always got a Crunch Wrap. So that, and then obviously Home Depot hot dogs.
Yeah.
From the front, the brats in the front that they had on Saturday at like noon.
I remember that, actually.
Those were like the two things where I every time I smell that, smell the hot dog cart outside of Home Depot, I'm like, oh, I would die for one of those. And they're so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So good. And then, yeah, Crunch Wraps from Taco Bell.
Crunch Wraps.
Which is, the Crunch Wraps are always disappointing.
They've changed.
They've changed, and now they suck.
They're not the Crunch Wraps of our childhood.
Now they really suck.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
That's my kind of...
Yeah.
Is that what you were going for? I don't know.
No, I think so. My recent experience with nostalgia, and maybe this will jumpstart your brain, or at least we can try to boil down the feeling. Just the other day for not D&D, I guess, because it got canceled, but we were playing Magic. We were throwing on some old video game soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this video game soundtrack kind of takes me back. You know, I remember playing the video game to this music, and so I do think music is something that can really evoke. I always get that mixed up. Evoke or invoke? I think it
Evoke.
It evokes emotions and memories, and I think that's part of what nostalgia is. Is probably just like something triggers emotion tied with memory, and that's why it feels so strong. But anyway, I think I joked on that Saturday. I was like, "Oh yeah, there's tons of nostalgia for this game and the music." And I probably won't go play it. I definitely did that all Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's play those games.
I got home from church in the morning. I downloaded a GameCube emulator. Surprisingly easy to set up. Downloaded the game. I think is legal. I don't know. And I played like all Sunday afternoon. And it was awesome. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. But it maybe is to add to your nostalgia. Like, I guess the Crunch Wrap example isn't quite the same because it is different. But it almost it wasn't quite as good as I thought it would be. You know,
Sure.
I think nostalgia is often you get that result where it seems so good, and
rose tinted glasses, whatever.
Something about that metaphor, where it seems better, and then you actually get it, and you're like, yeah, this is okay.
Yeah.
It was certainly good. I enjoyed it. And again, you know, with the music and playing the game itself, I was like, yeah, this is nostalgia, I think. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not like amazing as your like brain thinks it will be.
Yeah. I mean, most of that's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time I think I feel nostalgic, I'm not always disappointed, but like the feeling of nostalgia always outweighs the actual results that occur when you like give into it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
It's exactly what you were just saying. I'm just reiterating.
No, absolutely.
Right? But it's like, yeah, when I smell and think about the hot dog cart outside of Home Depot on Saturday mornings / afternoons, whatever. In my brain, like even now, I'm just like, oh, I would die for one of those right now.
I want
like Michelin, 3 Michelin star tier food right there. And then like you go and get it and you're like, that was a good hot dog. That was fine.
It was fine.
Like just a brat.
It's just a bratwurst on a Walmart bun.
Yeah, with like a little bit of sauerkraut and onion or whatever, mustard on there. It's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But like thinking about it, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Is the nostalgia better? Yeah.
And I think the nostalgia is better.
Yeah. More often than not, right? Even though it's like, sometimes you do want to indulge and like experience a bit of the nostalgia. Like in my case, I'll go play this game or treat yourself to Taco Bell. Like, but more often than not, maybe it's better. Maybe it's okay just to have the feeling nostalgia, be like, oh yeah, I would love that, and then let it pass.
I have another example of this. My birthday falls very close to October break for schools,
Right.
especially like elementary and junior high schools.
Okay.
And so for my birthday, many times it would be during that break, depending on what day Monday through Saturday it fell on.
Yeah.
And so many years I got to decide what my family did for October break
nice.
Because
it was your birthday.
It was my birthday, right? Some years I didn't get to decide, which always disappointed me because we would be doing something horrible on my birthday.
This is my birthday, though.
And like, but I'm just first world problem complaining, right?
First world problems, yeah.
Many years. So my father grew up in California, and so we would go out to California to visit his family and friends and all that stuff, which was great because, California was great at that point. And
that's all we're going to say about that?
Yep. And that's it.
Continuing on.
Yep. Whoop.
Dodge that bullet.
Ooh, throw some Matrix moves in there. And we would go out and we didn't have the money for Disneyland because Disneyland is like an arm and a leg and a kidney to get in.
Yeah, with a whole family.
Yeah, well, yeah, and there's 7 of us. For like one day it'd be like $2,100.
Yeah, to find a place to stay, to go.
It's ridiculous.
The food, everything.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
So we would either go to Knott's Berry Farm, which was much more reasonable.
For sure.
Or we'd go to Legoland. And I was super into Legos as a kid, and so if we went out there, I would always choose Legoland, and Legoland is cheap.
Like compared to Disneyland,
compared to a lot of things, it's cheap
for like pretty decently sized amusement park.
Yes, however, it's like a very mediocre amusement park.
Sure.
Looking back on it, I was like, every time I think about it, I was like, oh man, I love going to Legoland, and I would choose to go to Legoland every year. And thinking back on it now, I'm like, there's like 3 rides. There's like 3 rides in Legoland.
Yeah.
And none of them are like amazing.
Yeah. And maybe they're more fun as a kid.
And no, for sure they are, because it was also fun to like walk around, and they have like all these massive Lego creations, and it's like
it does look cool.
The
Star Wars part.
Oh yeah, it's so
awesome.
Cool. And they have all these beautiful Lego setups, and they have like the Sydney Opera House in like
that's right, yeah,
1/64th scale or whatever it is. It's like
it's still huge.
It's massive. It's like 10 foot tall or something like that. It's crazy. And they have all these different cool things. It's a beautiful looking park.
Cool experience,
but
not bad for Legoland, but.
Maybe it's not nostalgic, because I do actually think it's actually kind of a sick park now that we're talking. I was going to say and it's, not that amazing, but now that we're talking about it, maybe it is kind of sick.
Maybe we'll go.
Maybe we need to hop on a plane right now and go to Legoland.
Go to Legoland.
Call out sick tomorrow.
It's funny because our wives have been trying to get us to go to Disneyland. It's like, maybe they go to Disneyland, we just go to Legoland. That's
not the worst idea ever. I refuse to go to Disneyland. It's not a topic we wanted to go on, but
yeah.
Stephen, hot take. I refuse to go to Disneyland.
We'll save it for another episode. It'll be all about hot takes. I don't know.
Here's a business related one, kind of alluding back to the first topic we talked about. The new Captain Marvel movie came out.
Oh yes.
Eek.
I heard. Yeah, I heard.
Oof.
Heard many things, none of which were good.
I haven't seen it, nor seen any reviews about it.
No, me neither.
Because no one's seen the movie.
I've saw plenty of ads for it, which was weird. But yeah,
no one has seen the movie. So they spent $250 million to produce the movie. $250 million to produce the movie.
That's an insane.
And normally, Now, this might be surprising to some out there.
Mm-hmm.
When you spend money on something in a business, usually it's to create more money on the back
you
end.
hope to
right?
make money.
You're usually investing in something to create more value, right? Like, Avengers Endgame, for example, made them like $2 billion.
An obscene amount.
Even though they spent like $500 million to make it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they spent $250 million to make this movie, which, first of all, was a stupid choice because, let's be honest, that character is like the most unlikable character out of all of them.
You had 3 protagonists that nobody cared about. Like
Yes.
the one was unlikable. The other 2 were from TV shows that nobody watched.
I don't even know who the third one. I know the second.
Yeah.
The other one of them was from WandaVision. I don't know what her character.
The other one
is.
was from, I forgot what they called. I mean, Miss Marvel is her name in the comics. She's like a teenage Captain Marvel fangirl. They made a Disney Plus TV show that nobody watched.
Jeez.
And then put her in the movie. Yeah, so no fault to the character or the actors or whatever. It was kind of doomed from the start, I think.
Well, so they spent, like I've said 14 times now, they spent $250 million. Currently, as of today, I read an article that was published today. They were expecting the movie to make the first weekend. They weren't expecting it to be like gangbusters for them, right? They were expecting it to make somewhere between $60 to $80 million the first weekend.
Okay, opening weekend, sure.
Which ended Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Today is Tuesday. It has currently made $40 million.
$40 million, half of their projection, yeah, or 2/3.
2/3 of their projection.
Generously, yeah.
Which is rough.
Yeah, that's not good for Marvel.
Which is rough.
I hadn't heard those numbers. The one thing I heard was, I don't know, some big name on Twitter or whatever. Was like, oh, you guys, shouldn't just be punching down at the Marvels, boop-a-doo, what big deal? There's not a story there if they did bad, so stop reveling in the negative. And I'm like, I'm not punching down. They spent $250 million on this movie. Like,
yeah,
it's Marvel. Like, the fans are allowed to have a voice about it. Like, so that was a really weird take. That was the one I saw this week. It was. I think we're punching up. We're okay to comment.
We're definitely
Marvels.
punching up because actually, no, we're punching down.
We're punching down
because all 100 of our listeners definitely outweigh the 250 million. I mean, we obviously have a combined net worth of much over $250 million.
I would argue our content is better than the Marvels.
Eek.
So
rough.
I don't think that's a hot take. You watch almost anything on YouTube. It's probably better.
There are some YouTube channels where it's like the production quality is amazing.
It's insane.
And it's like, you're just doing this for free?
And it's just like random little hobbies or games or streamers or whatever. People just like put their hearts and souls into content creation.
And it's like gorgeous film. It's like, what the heck? Like, let's make this a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, geez Louise.
Seen some cool stuff. But
yeah, it's
Marvels. Nobody's seen it. We probably won't give a movie review on it next week.
No, I won't. There's been a large dearth of movies that have come out that haven't come out.
Totally. Speaking of that, I wanted to segue into the next topic, potentially our last one. Just talking with my dad the other day about movies coming out, because it's a Thanksgiving tradition of ours. On Black Friday, we like to go to the movie theaters, because that's when our local movie theater, Harkins, they've always got the deals for the next year. Like, oh, you get the year of free popcorn, or here's the soda.
Sure.
They start that on Black Friday. We usually get some good deals. My parents have like gamified going to the movies with 6 kids.
That's fair.
We got very good at it. But anyway, Thanksgiving traditions is the segue. But yeah, we were looking at it. There's no movies that have come out.
Napoleon
was the
Bonaparte. What are they calling?
I think it's Napoleon. Was the one I saw, and I was like, oh, that one's coming out like on Thanksgiving or whatever.
Yeah, so you can see it on Friday.
Oh, okay, I can see that. My dad, though, he was like, I haven't heard anything about that. No advertisement.
It looks so good.
It looks pretty good.
I'm 100% seeing that.
I'm going to say it looks halfway decent.
That's a reasonable joke.
And then maybe the movie will come up short.
That was a better joke.
That was a better one. I thought that one.
That was much better.
The movie's about Napoleon. He's a short guy.
Did you know he actually wasn't that short?
That's everything I've heard is like, no, like for average of men of his time.
He's like an inch shorter than modern average.
Yeah.
He was like 5'4" or 5'5" or something like that.
So it's like short to us, maybe, but we're American
But, like,
giants
Yeah, and he's French.
from 150.
I was just practicing my French accent.
He was
there.
pronouncing in.
Ugh. I'm 100% going to go see that movie though.
Yeah. That
It looks
Seems
so
decent.
good.
I don't know if it'd be a great family movie, but at this point, going to watch movies on like my side of the family, we don't need family movies anymore. So
Yeah, like the youngest one is 18 and in Brazil.
yeah, so 21 is the next youngest. Yeah, but nothing else really. I was looking at it. I was like the Marvels, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Which I don't think I'll convince my dad to see. I'd watch as a joke, but I don't think I'd spend money on that. I'm just not a huge fan. My little sister said it was okay, but she's a little bit more into that Gen Z era Five Nights at Freddy's craze. And I was like, oh, I mean, this comes out in December, but we're kind of in a dearth. How about Aquaman 2? And I was immediately roasted by all of my family members, including my wife, at the dinner table. You want to see Aquaman 2? What? I was like, I mean, the first movie was okay-ish.
There was one scene in the first movie where I was like, okay, if they just made this movie it would be sick.
Yeah.
And it was the big battle scene.
The big underwater.
Where it had all these why didn't we just do this four times?
Giant like lobsters and hermit crabs with like laser guns strapped to them,
and the sharks with the mini laser machine guns or whatever it is.
Dude, yeah.
Like, come on,
You get 10 minutes of that, which admittedly is all CGI, but it was pretty good CGI.
It was also like, even if it was crappy CGI,
it looked awesome.
It was dope.
You're there, you're in the moment. You're like, yeah, dude, let's go to underwater war.
Yeah. And like, if they just made like
riding a shark,
hour and a half long movie of that,
better than Sharknado, like sails through the roof.
I mean, better than any Marvel movie, that's for sure.
Better than the Marvels.
Better than any DC movie.
Hot take.
Yikes!
But yeah, I was just immediately roasted. Like Aquaman 2. I was like, oh, I mean, Jason Momoa. I don't know. And my mom was actually, yeah, okay. So maybe my mom and I will go on a.
That's like Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
it's like my wife will watch anything Henry Cavill's in.
With Henry Cavill, you're like, yeah, we're watching this for the plot. Yes.
Just like I watched Black Widow for the plot.
Yes.
Not because Scarlett Johansson is extremely attractive.
I've seen every movie that Scarlett Johansson is in. They're all great. For the plot.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm that way with like Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, your celebrity crushes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Also Henry Cavill.
Oh well, yeah.
I'll watch anything those if there was a movie that those three were in together, I think I would just like ascend to heaven.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because like they're my three favorite actors.
I like Emily Blunt. I'll probably watch anything with her in it. She's my go-to.
She's a very good actress.
She's like my favorite. She's a great actress too, and then also she's great to look at. So
this is fair.
If we had to do a top 5 movies for another day, she's probably the top 2 or 3 up there. So that's why. The number 1 is Edge of Tomorrow. That was actually a really good movie. That's like my favorite movie. It's so underrated, but it is
very underrated. Wasn't it called something else at first?
Yeah, that's why it like didn't sell well. It was called Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, that's right.
Then they had copyright issues with some other like Asian flick called that for whatever reason. So they had to change the name like
halfway through
its release. Like the movie was already out.
That's what I remember. It
was pretty bad.
It was a good movie though.
Yeah,
I think I saw it in theaters.
I enjoy Groundhog's Day premises and that
Groundhog's Day was like a fascinating, like that was a good one.
It was a sci-fi Groundhog's Day. It's perfect for me. So
yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
that was a.
Oh yes. Summing up your Thanksgiving traditions. This episode probably releases a few days before Thanksgiving. So.
The weekend before Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, what do you like to do?
My Thanksgiving traditions. My family always does a big get together with my mom's side of the family.
All right.
Just have a lot of cousins together, and
cook all the food, eat all the food.
Yep, and we'll most of the time we'll play like Ultimate Frisbee beforehand or something like that. My dad and I used to have the tradition of going Black Friday shopping. We used to be those crazies who would line up.
I remember hearing this. Yeah,
I wouldn't be the crazy. I would go along with the crazy.
Yeah. I went to experience the crazy.
Exactly. But I was like, I remember being like 10 and him just being like, okay, stand in this line. Walmart opens sooner. I'm going to go stand in that one and I'll be back in an hour and a half. And I'm like 10 years old in the line for Staples that opens at like 6:30 and Walmart opens at 5:45. And so he's going to go stand in that line and try to get one random bullcrap thing. Because after eating on Thanksgiving, he would sit there with all of the ads. All the paper printed ads and go through all of them and look. And just like try to, yes, I do think I need a new screwdriver set. And it's like
$30 off of a shelf. Yes.
Exactly. And I'm like, Dad, it's a screwdriver. How many screwdrivers do you have?
Buy one, get one free on reams of paper at Staples.
There was one time where we literally, like on a Black Friday, where we went in and bought like 5 cases of reams of paper.
Why?
And I was like,
and to this day, you still have
I'm 100% positive we do.
You never had to do another Black Friday deal on paper, though. So, I mean,
and then I remember
counts for something.
I remember the year, I think I was probably like, and this happened for many a year.
Yeah, it's tradition, yeah.
Until I was probably like 16 or 17. And then on I was getting ready on Thursday. You know, I just finished my meal. I'd taken a 30-minute nap, and I got up and I was like, all right, Dad. And I saw him with his like papers
the spread,
out, and I was like, all right, where are we going tomorrow? And he's like, haven't found anything that I need yet. And I was like, you never find anything that you need, but where are we going? It's like, no, I don't think we're going to go tomorrow morning. There's just nothing really.
Whoa.
And I was like, so I get to sleep in? Like, what? Like, I haven't slept in on a Friday after Thanksgiving in a decade. What does it even mean?
That's wild.
So I didn't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at probably
a reasonable time. Yeah.
That's the tradition.
Cool.
But other than that, nothing crazy.
Man.
Making a Thanksgiving roast.
Yeah, all the
turkey.
All the usual food.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nothing else.
Yeah, I think movies on Black Friday was kind of our big one. Other than all the foods and all that get together family, but it's usually just whoever's in town. It's been bigger and smaller some years, but
yeah, we usually have a pretty good turnout because it's my mom's side of the family kind of does that, and Christmas are kind of the 2 big ones for us.
Gotcha.
And Easter.
And actually, any opportunity to eat food and get together.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, not wrong.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the 5G podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.
We're available on all social medias, as well as you can watch or listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Again, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next week.
Thanks.